has that ever been turned off?
Okay, mine keeps flashing though.
No, it'll go green.
No,
It'll go.
Push
Good
this
job,
button
Joe.
again. Push this button again. There you go.
Well, you're the principal.
Okay, now we're technically ready to start this meeting now. So welcome everybody again to the Town of Lloyd regular meeting, March 16th. I'm going to switch the agenda slightly because, you know, I give a lot of credit to the chief. He always brings in his new hires. But I don't want them to have to sit around and wait an hour and a half sometimes to get to it. So we're going to skip right to Resolution G, H, I, and J and do the four of them up front today.
Dave, you don't think they want to hear all the exciting things we're going to talk about?
Well, they probably do.
Like, quit.
They probably do. But they also probably would love to get on and move on and come back after their.
They have to
their
get up
full-time
early for the
employees.
first day of work, so I agree with you on that.
Right.
They want to
Okay,
have a
great.
celebratory dinner.
So we'll start with Resolution G. So it's a resolution to hire Joshua Vernon as a full-time dispatcher at a rate of $20.50 per hour. It's at the recommendation of Chief James Janso.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And could you introduce whoever? Hi, Joshua. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. He's our new full-time dispatcher. He was with us previously 2 months ago, and he decided he wanted to come back. We're glad he accepted that.
You realize how great it was here.
Is that before you met us or after?
Oh, no, he's got a good boss. That's because he realizes that Jimmy's a good boss. Welcome, Joshua. Best of luck.
Jimmy, Jim's a great captain of a great team. You got a great, all of you are going to be working with a great department, so congratulations.
Congratulations, Joshua. Okay,
Thank you.
Resolution H is to hire Christian McGraw as a part-time police officer at a rate of $21.25 per hour at the recommendation of Chief James Janso.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chris just graduated the academy Saturday or Friday, Dutchess County Law Enforcement Academy, so we welcome him aboard.
Congratulations.
First of all, congratulations on graduating the academy and welcome back, continued on the team.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll move to Resolution I. This is a resolution to hire Tammy Schaffler as a part-time dispatcher at a rate of $18.45 per hour at the
So-
recommendation of Chief James Janso.
Make the
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Tammy, our new dispatcher, welcome her back.
Hi, Tammy, and welcome aboard.
Hi, thank you so much.
Best of luck, Danny. Best of luck.
Okay, Resolution J to hire Nicholas Vazios as a part-time police officer at a rate of $24.50 per hour at the recommendation of Chief James Janso.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Nick.
Thank you.
Too sunny for you there, or what?
See, the grass isn't always greener.
We're
Well, welcome
glad you're
back. We
back.
appreciate you coming back.
Best of luck. Thank you.
We look forward to it. Okay, no problem. So now we'll go back to the front of the agenda. And you, what's that?
You got everything?
Let them have a photo op.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, let's get a photo, yeah. That's
Matthew,
fine.
Jimmy, you want to do a photo op?
You hit red K, right?
No, they're not here. We don't worry about that. We can
Oh, he's
do-
not here?
Right. Well, it's a resignation, Joe.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Why don't you come up in the front of the town board?
Yeah, come right up here.
No problem.
Stand up.
This time?
Okay. Go back to the beginning of the agenda now. Okay, we have four public hearings that we opened back on February 16th. How come I'm getting that? Okay.
figure this out.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the town board liaison reports. Audit committee, anything new? Lenny or Joe, you guys have been signing all the vouchers. You keeping up with it, I guess is the question?
Yeah, we're keeping up with it. The vouchers, these keep coming, there's a lot of them. The concern that I'm seeing is that, the escrows, we're getting a lot of bills from companies and absorb it, and we just wanna make sure that, those escrows are replenished or they're started. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I did have a discussion with Kendra on that, because I was more concerned on the process, and if you sign a voucher and then it goes to her, if there's not enough escrow, she doesn't pay it.
Right, but it's still.
It still should be a check earlier in the process.
There should be a process that,
Should be earlier.
Notification when they hit a certain amount of money, that we notify them that we're not gonna
Great.
they're not gonna be able to even move forward at all without replenishing their escrow, because, it's not fair that these people are being contracted to do jobs and then they're not getting paid in a timely fashion because the developer didn't have either had no money in the escrow or not enough money in the escrow.
Right. Now, we talked about that today, about the check needs to be back earlier in the process, so we're gonna work on that. Okay, the building department, nothing new from me. I mean, we had the tri-board meeting. I thought it was productive. We talked about a lot of stuff, going on in building and with zoning, et cetera. ECC, Mike?
I don't have much other than the Twaskill, one of the teachers at the middle school did some sampling on the Twaskill River, and I guess they're gonna do a study. I think they're gonna bring in somebody from Marist, and they're gonna test the water, the creek at different locations. I guess that's what they got in the work on that one, and then they have they're gonna be applying for a grant for the cleaning up of the vegetation on Black Creek, so the kayakers could use the creek a lot easier, so you can have that regrowth every year. But that's off a ways now. And then on the Zoning Board of Appeals, new business is on 8 Merritt Avenue. An applicant is seeking an area variance to renovate an empty space below pre-existing apartment in the garage due to a handicap condition. And then they extended the public hearing the last week and for the building on 180th South Street, and he applied for a area variance, and they had a resolution for it, and that was approved. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Go to the EDC, that's me. We did have a meeting again yesterday. They're in the process right now. They've copied some pretty good information down for people to get information from the website that they're gonna be, I think, getting out on a website, which includes what are all the current businesses in Highland. So they'll pop that brochure out. They've updated it. They're also gonna go through the steps you have to go through to start a business in Highland. So what do you have to go through with zoning, with the planning board, and, and then funding help with the Ulster County, they'll link them to there. So they're putting a lot of good info out there, trying to help market and trying to help give people how-tos. So I think it'll be pretty fruitful in the end. If it gets us one additional business in town, it was probably a success. There are a couple new things that have opened. There's a wellness center at 29 Main Street and 24 Main Street and 29 Main Street. There's an architect who's moved in there that's opening up a business there. So couple additions to the town. Let me finish my stuff while I'm here. The police, nothing new that I have from Jim. I think he's continuing on his staffing work and, moving forward with that. I think that's it for me. Why don't we move to John Frano, Highland Fire District and Ambulance?
Okay.
How to do that.
First, for the fire district, The required OSHA training for all active firefighters was completed on February 20th. Due to COVID, it was an abbreviated session, so they had two 4-hour sessions, a morning session and afternoon, and it was pertinent to each locale. So they didn't do training on high-rise buildings because we don't have any. So they completed all the mandatory and, again, any local training that was needed. They had 50 attendees, so all firefighters have completed OSHA for 2022. The new pumper was put in service, 3112. So that's a new engine that was put in service. They finally found a buyer for the old engine, so they were able to dispose of that. And that's it for the fire district. The ambulance, excuse me, I don't know, is the contract signed now? I know it was out for signature.
I have a contract signed by the ambulance
Mobile Life.
provider, and it's sitting on my credenza. I'm supposed to bring it down today to have Dave sign it, so I'll run it down tomorrow.
Okay.
Then we'll have
All
a
right.
fully executed agreement.
And we've been getting the reports as agreed. I'm just kind of surprised, actually. I knew it happened, but I didn't realize it happened so much. So in February, they had 153 dispatches in the town of Lloyd. They responded to 153, but 53 of them were no transports. So in other words, they show up and people say, I don't want to go to a car accident, whatever. I just don't want to go to the hospital, I'm fine. So that's 34.6% of the times they roll was, in February, was no transport, therefore no billing. So, and for whatever reason, the town of Lloyd or Highland is one of the higher townships for no transports. And
We do a lot of calls, though. I was looking back into the minutes, and there was a representative from Mobile Life, and this was about 4 years ago, and he was saying that they were looking at over 4,000 calls a year in Thailand.
Just a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So they're getting tons and tons of calls.
well, that's the if you
So
recall,
you're gonna have that margin, you know.
but if you recall, I think last month or the month before, I reported that the reason, and we all saw that increase, which was significant, the more calls they run, the better their profit line is, their business model is. With COVID, just the number of calls, I think it was
Down to 1,800.
18, 17, 83,
4,000 went down to 1,800.
because people were just not even calling them. And their business, and it's not just Highland, it's
It's everywhere, yeah.
I have a question, though. Does that ambulance on 299 even run? Because I never see it move, and this weekend, I saw 2 ambulances there. So it made me kind of believe, like, maybe there's something wrong with it. Could we check in on that and find out what's going on?
yeah, I see it every day.
It never moves. I never
Oh, I
see
see it move. Come around, hang around with me.
I'm tempted to get a piece of chalk and put it on the tire and the blacktop
Oh,
to see if
it
it actually moves. I'm
They
serious.
they completed their lease. I mean, it moves.
It's
I've
always
seen it.
plugged. I never see it
And
move.
they rent a space they came to an agreement with Mike Bragg, so they're renting office space. They're plugged in there, but the guys, they're also in the office there. But,
Yeah, 'cause I
and
saw
the
two-
average
I saw
response,
two.
excuse me?
I saw 2. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, sometimes. Like I said, last month, one call in a half-hour period, we had 4 ambulances in Highland. Hopefully, you're not going to see 5.
I'm going to put some chalk. I'm going to see if it's going
Put
to
chalk, Joe, and let me know how you make out with that.
I got the
The
chalk.
average response time for the month of February was 7 minutes, 4.5 seconds. Average response time for January was even better. It was 6 minutes and 50, I think it was 6:52, something like that, and with no penalties. So they're busy. They're not as busy as they'd like to be, but they're busy.
They had one call was like 19 minutes, but the response time was very good overall. 6 minutes, 43 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6:43 for January,
Right.
February 7:04. I think that is it. That's
Okay, you
all
want
I
to go on to lights, John, since you're on?
Sure.
Might as well do them
Going
all at
on to
once.
lights, do it all. Okay, I've been spending a lot of time in Bridgeview. We, we finally have a map of the entire development. I couldn't believe it, but we did not have a complete map of the entire Bridgeview complex. We do now. The existing lighting has been placed on the maps, and GPI is preparing a package to, as I previously stated, we might have to do it in phases, but we're looking at replacing one for one of those lights that are there. Another option, if it's affordable, is to add 4 more lights, because there's some areas in one parking lot that's totally dark. So GPI they're working on a package, and hopefully we'll have something for the April meeting.
Have they ever thought of doing solar lighting, that they're hooked up to the electricity? And, you know,
I
it
had-
would reduce the cost. I'm just,
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know of any municipality that has them. I don't know.
okay, because I see they're becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, they're popular in the south where you have longer days of sun. I think, Mike, I also see them using a lot of solar for the smaller switch lights, smaller LEDs like the switching lights, the crosswalks and stuff. So there may be some applicability to it. I don't know.
When my concern is we're using money and it's part of a grant that we have to get the second installment, correct? If we don't spend it, we don't get the second
We're
installment.
not using, you mean the ARPA dollars? We're not using
No.
any yet.
So what I'm concerned is we want to make sure that we get this lighting project done,
Yeah, absolutely.
so then we can get the additional funds. So,
You're going to get them anyway, Joe, this year. All the money from ARPA has to be spent by December 2024.
okay, so even if we don't, so we have to, I thought we had to spend it to get the second half.
Right.
Yeah, what you have to do, we actually have been spending a lot of time on this, and I know Margaret and Kendra and I have been spending a lot of time. What you have to do is earmark the money in the system to say you're going to use it, and then you'll get your payment in July. So that's what we're working on, making sure we understand how to do it in the system, and then we can earmark it for
Great,
different things. So
terrific,
we made sure we found out how that process worked.
thanks.
So more on that next meeting.
Great job.
Okay, Joe, school district?
Sure. So, right now, the regions were canceled in January. However, the 3 through 8 ELA testing is not canceled, so all students will be expected in 3rd through 8th grade, starting on Tuesday, March 9th, to take the ELA assessment. It's important your students take it. It's a 2-day assessment, because it tells them what skills are deficient. It also ranks the school. It lets us be competitive with other schools, so when kids don't take that test, it gives the school a bad rating. It also hurts their funding. So it's important that you know where your children are, so they get the resources they need for the following year, especially in younger grades. And as it looks right now, the June regions should still be scheduled and be on task. Highland High School, thanks to COVID's over, they're going to have a play. It's going to be called Freaky Friday. It's going to be April 1st and 2nd at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. If you want to buy a ticket, you can go to the website and click on it. And they also have a QR code that you can just scan with your phone. So it's nice seeing that they're using new technology. The middle schools starting pre-selling their yearbook. So if families want to get a yearbook, they can do it digitally. To make it easier, they can go right to the website and, again, pre-order it there. On May 17th, the board is going to have the following vacancies that will expire on June 30th, 2 board members. So if you're looking to want to be on the Highland School Board, you can get petitions that are available at the central office between the hours of 8 and 4, Monday through Friday, except for April 18th, which is 5 p.m. You have to get this petition signed. to get on the ballot so you can run for election. So if anybody interested in becoming a school board member and wants to get elected, put their hat in the ring, that's what you have to do. That concludes my report.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Okay, let's move forward. Lenny, Highland Landing Park?
Down at the park, I'm supposed to get a 20-foot overseas container so we can clean the building out, and then start work on the interior of the building. We've sent out all of the estimates and to get everything back so we have the money to complete it. The water line, sewer line are in. They haven't been flushed and tested yet, but that should happen probably next week. We got some work we need to do outside. We're going to do a little planting and a bunch of other stuff. So that's kind of what's on board right now. But to get the interior of the building done and try to get at least the bathrooms open by, I'm going to say, fall. That's what I'm hoping, that we can get that done by then, as far as that goes. As far as the planning board, I really have no report. I missed the last meeting. And the rail trail, I usually concede my time to Peter. They had a meeting the other night, and I haven't talked to him since. So I'm a little, I'm not taking care of my duties, I guess. The water and sewer, the last meeting we had was about the Stewart's, the views, and all the water and sewer lines that are going down that way. That was the discussion for water and sewer. That's all I got.
Okay, and while we're on the Highland Landing, we did get a report. It's a monitoring report.
Oh.
It's done by Scenic Hudson. And it was said enclosed, please find a copy of the Scenic Hudson's 2021 monitoring report on the conservation easement over the Highland Landing property. We fulfill our obligation under the terms of the conservation easement by conducting annual monitoring of your property. As indicated in the monitoring report, we did not observe any conditions of concern on the property related to the terms of the conservation easement. We're pleased to see a significant reduction in litter compared to last year. Thank you for your ongoing stewardship of the property. So, looks like we've made improvements from year to year.
The only reason it was an improvement is before they came, the night before was a windstorm.
I can't help that.
True story.
You don't have to make excuses for
Really?
being good.
We can't take credit.
When you get a good grade, you don't make excuses for it.
No,
The grass looks great down at the park.
thank you.
It really filled out.
It's
It was
coming.
Those spars, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for town board liaison reports. I
Dave.
didn't have any, go ahead.
Can you just, on they couldn't hear, so you just want to they're asking what happened with the water district extension public hearing, just. I said it's left. Yes, it's left open. It's just open right now.
What's that?
They're asking a question about what happened to the water district extension.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just,
At the top, I actually mentioned that.
Right.
We opened the public hearings on February 16th, 2022. We're going to leave the public hearings open because we don't have the development agreements in place yet.
Yes.
Sean, you want to comment any more on that?
No, we discussed it at the Water
Workshop.
Sewer Committee. I'm still waiting
Right.
for some information from Andy Learn. He might have sent it to me, but I haven't reviewed it yet. So we have to work on the agreements and get them to developers for review, and we can move forward.
And then on local law A, which is adaptive reuse, I'm still waiting for the county to get back. We haven't got the feedback from the county, which has been almost 2 months now.
Yeah.
What's that? That's when we sent it, so we should have that feedback. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. So I didn't have any old or new business on the agenda unless there's something we have here we want to bring up.
I don't know if this is old, maybe it's an update on old business. The pavilion project, I want to thank, he's not here, but publicly thank Richie Klotz and his crew. They removed the stumps that needed to be pulled off that hill. They cleaned the hill up. And we've been going through, there's 2 sets of plans, designs, and we're looking at a hybrid of it. And more to come. We need a survey map and Patty Brooks is working on that, so we know what kind of, how we can fit this in the space. More to come.
Okay, thanks to Reggie for doing that clearing.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I just have a comment. I just want to say thank you, Supervisor, for having your first tri-board meeting. I'd like to thank all of the zoning board members and the planning board members. It was a rich discussion, and I really believe we all benefited from it. So thank you for.
I think we covered a lot of topics. I was very pleased with it. So good. Okay, I'll open it up now to privilege of the floor. You have to get to the microphone, please, and state your name. Talk it to the microphone. Is it on?
Just your name.
Bank and serial number, please.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Yes.
My name is Robert Party, and the comments to the town board today. I'm just going to read them. I got a copy for Linda if she wants it. I read the current mobile life contract and was extremely disappointed that the only thing that changed was the amount charged, increased $108,552 to $331,920. The rest of the contract was basically verbatim to the previous one approved. So much, I feel, for due diligence. The contract specifies that if an average response times go above the required time limit of 9 minutes, 59 seconds for the month, then the penalties outlined kick in. Trust me, they will make sure that never happens, as the way it is written now, it can almost never happen. What should have been included, but was not, was that the average of response times for those emergency calls included, for those emergency calls that should not exceed a certain percentage of the calls for that month. And these are just rough because I just got the figures about 2 hours, 3 or 4 hours ago, and I didn't have a chance to read them over. But however, a quick review of them shows that Mobile Life's average percentage of calls exceeding the time limit came up in over 8%. But I wasn't able to divide them between priority calls and just the alpha calls, which the alpha calls are you can die and it doesn't make a difference what time you show up. However, I will admit I have to go back over the data. I will follow up and have that sent to Mr. Frano, which seems to be the lead on this for the board, am I correct?
Yes, he is a lead.
Can I just
My
ask you a quick
opinion, based
question?
on the experience of doing risk management reviews for ambulance entities nationwide for the second largest insurer of ambulance and fire districts, is based that what is evident is that Mobile Life is just using the district headquarters up here as a hub to serve the 9W corridor from Marlboro to Esopus. And we're paying, including the lucrative nursing homes. Rough figures show that the data provided shows about 20% of the calls dispatched are for nursing home related. And I haven't been able to separate them. We are paying them extra above the guaranteed money that they get when they run into a nursing home. When they run to a nursing home, it's guaranteed money. Because the person wouldn't be in the nursing home unless it was guaranteed money. So what we're doing is we're paying them extra 20% of the time to get more guaranteed money. The last contract that with its required reports, meetings never really happened in the previous administrations. Hopefully that will change or remain changed for the future. No oversight means that they aren't, or you aren't, doing your duty. In conclusion, the incident that happened on Tina Drive which generated all this is where my neighbor waited for 34 minutes. Will happen again. Hopefully it won't with the current contract. We've done nothing to enhance or improve it except hand over more money to Mobile Life. We really haven't. Hopefully by raising the issue, and perhaps if the oversight is noted by your comment, and what I've got noted here, actually starts to happen, then a chance of fatal incidents caused by the ambulance delay will not happen. But if it does, then this board will have to look at themselves in the mirror and ask, did we really do the job as best we could for the people who trust us with their vote? And I don't think we did. And I base that on my experience.
I voted no on the contract, so. I voted no on the contract, but a quick question. What's the alpha call? It's part of my ignorance.
Alpha means that they're not dying and it's not an ALS call.
Okay, thanks.
And that they're supposed to meet the national standards, but it's not set as a time limit.
Right.
It just says meet national standards.
No lights and siren, just,
Okay, I'm a layman. I didn't know. That's what I'm asking.
And priorities means license sirens, that's basically it. Any
Okay.
questions?
Well,
Thank you.
thanks for your comments. Just a
Thank
couple
you.
things for the board to talk about, board to think about, and I didn't go through all the numbers yet either.
If you-
I don't know of 8% where that matches against benchmarks of other towns. I could tell you in all the supervisors' meetings I go to, we're looked at the model. We're looked at as the model in Ulster County for ambulance service.
Mr. Party, if you want to go with me when I put the truck on the tire to see if it moves, you can come.
So,
There you go.
If you want to come with me when I put the truck on the tire to see if the ambulance moves, you can come.
Can I just respond to one item?
yeah, just, so let me finish. So we are looked at as the model in Ulster County. And I, if it's 8% of the time we're over average, I guess I'd ask John, is that better or worse than other towns? I think it's better, but.
Yeah,
comment.
I'll look into it.
Okay, what else?
Just, Bob, when you say the contract was verbatim, I don't know what you're comparing to, because I think, because there was a extension on, that started in September, that ran to January, and it's pretty close to that, but the two, if you're comparing to the original contract, that was 2005, which is not verbatim. I mean, a lot of it is boilerplate, and it's going to be boilerplate, right? But I don't know if you have the 2005 document or if you have the September 2021 document.
I have the February, copy of the February 2021.
I'm going to comment to Mr. Party's thing. I kind of feel the same way you did when they were doing the contracts and they asked for over $100,000 more. I felt that one of the presentations they came and told us before John and Dave were on the board, they talked about how they could run a call from Poughkeepsie quicker coming from Highland than they could actually run it from their hub in Dutchess County. So that made me understand that we're a pretty valuable location. Also, Marlboro, they have the contract with them and they don't have 24 hours. And what they do is when Marlboro doesn't have the ambulance 24, we fill in for them. So for us to pay an extra 100, I think we should have gotten a bigger break. And New Paltz doesn't pay a contract of their own ambulance corps. And I believe they do use that hub to get those lucrative calls out of the nursing homes in New Paltz. And that was my comment tonight is I never really see that 299 ambulance ever move. And I drive by it every day. And then this weekend, it was odd because they had 2 ambulances there. So I was wondering why. So there's some questions I would like answers to, too.
Look, we'll continue to move forward. We'll continue to monitor it. I don't want to keep going back and rehashing old stuff. If we find problems that we get from the reports, we'll move forward and change them in the next contract. I mean, John and I spent time at their hub. John and I saw where they move an ambulance from one place to another when they don't have it. A lot of towns don't have that. So, yeah, they're taking advantage of the fact that we have nursing homes. They get more calls here, but it's benefiting us, I think, more than it's benefiting them. So, we'll go forward. We'll continue to monitor it, and if we have to make changes, we'll make changes. But I'm not looking backwards. I'm going to look at the data and move forward. And I hope everybody's going to move forward with me.
Just one last comment. I don't want to beat this horse that's already been beaten. My contact, Will Jeffries, who's the VP of Operations, he offered still, because there still seems to be a little confusion, misunderstanding of the ambulance service. He's offered to come and do a workshop with us so you could fully understand their business model, how they operate. I told him I would let the board know, and if you guys really want to learn about it, we'll invite him up here and spend an afternoon.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Okay, anybody else for privilege to the floor? Okay, if not, we're going to move on to motions and resolutions. Motion A is to approve the minutes from the February 2nd Town Board Workshop and the February 16th, 2022 Town Board Regular Meeting and the March 3rd, 2022 Town Board Workshop Meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution to authorize payment of vouchers as audited by the Audit Committee.
Motion.
Guerrero,
Second.
second. Akmoody, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, resolution to allow the building department to accept credit card payments online and in person for certain building department fees.
Motion.
Akmoody,
Can we discuss one thing? I know it's a resolution, but we just.
Second.
Discussion,
All
so,
right,
so,
second. I'll
he
second.
seconds and say discussion. So, you were good.
Second, who seconded?
I second.
Mike did, now you can
Okay.
discuss. Now you guys-
Discussion.
What do we do with the credit card fee? Does the town eat that?
So, no, so I actually was on the website, because I have quite an absorbent little inspection fee I have to pay. So, I saw that they took the credit cards, and it has this little disclaimer that we charge 3% above
good.
because we're not a business, so that's a great thing. But I have a question on that. So Wendy, did I misread, there was something about $50, is it a $50 minimum or a $50 maximum? 'Cause if
I'm
it's a-
not sure what website you're looking at,
It was on
because we
our
don't
it was on
charge
our-
3%. So let me explain how we take the credit cards. And the building department fees, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
The building department takes in their fees every day, and at the end of the day, they bring their money to the town clerk, who then enters their fees into our programs and what we give to the supervisor's office, if you've ever seen the supervisor's report. The credit card company, Municipay, charges a flat fee of $3 for a credit card, or $1.50 for an e-check, or 2.65%, and that starts about $113, where that becomes the 2.65% is charged. There is no minimum. We have people that come in and buy a dog license for $5 and do a credit card and pay the $3 fee on it. But all the buildings, we're just giving the building department, it's actually only for one line of their fees that they collect, which is fire inspections. There was some companies who wanted to be able to pay it online because they were a corporation and whatever. But so they go online, they pay the fee, but those fees are still town clerk fees. They're still collected in the
Right.
town clerk's office.
And I understand, so the website, I was on I was on the town website to the building department, and I saw that they accepted credit cards. And I saw a percentage that they charged, and a disclaimer, they talked about if you used your credit card, the credit card company charged. So that's always common.
As a municipality, we are not allowed to absorb that fee, because
Right.
you, Joe, don't want to pay for me to use
No, I
my
agree,
credit
I
card,
agree.
right?
And then they had the disclaimers, that's what I was saying to John, they
There's
had the
disclaimer.
disclaimer on
It's
there.
Now your question.
2.65%, and we don't even see that. It doesn't even come through our town money. We actually, when people come in to sign a credit card, or when they do it online, they actually see that's two separate lines, the fee, which the town never sees. It never comes into our accounts. We don't have to worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. We good. We
Paid by check today, I didn't want to pay the fee.
Okay, any further?
So you can use an e-check for $1.50, and especially with taxes. We tell people, you don't want to pay that 2.65%. Do the e-check if you can, for the
I
$1.50.
don't even pay $1.50.
Thanks.
It's 50-something cents to mail it, so.
I hand delivered it.
Okay, so any other discussion on the resolution?
No.
We take the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Resolution D, this is the one we talked about last month. It's to amend the Town Lloyd development fee by adding or breaking out these items. This is actually a reclassification of these codes that are currently, so no fee change, it's just reclassifying them. I did go back, by the way, somebody asked about are our fees in line? We have 5 other towns I pulled, and they range from $67 to $150. Ours are pretty much $100 with charges for additional suites. So I think they're in line. I don't see any reason to open it up. And if we were to open it up, I would open up the entire development fee schedule, not just these couple line items. So that's kind of the analysis I did and where I ended up. So can I get a motion for
Motion.
Resolution D?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
Aye.
no.
No, Joe, no, okay. 4-1, motion carries. Okay, Resolution E, this is to approve the purchase of a trailer-mounted Vermeer vacuum excavator. And you can see the model number there for the Town of Lloyd Water and Sewer Districts. The unit will be purchased from Vermeer Mid-Atlantic through the Sourcewell program and is budget supported. Has a Sourcewell contract in there, and the cost is $68,929. And this will enable the water department, when they're in there, instead of hacking around the valve with chisels and chainsaws, it'll let them kind of, it'll let them suck out around there so that they can be a little more precise, especially when there's other utilities around it, like the fiber optic cables that were near the other day. So as I've said before, I want to make sure our teams have the right tools. I think this is a great investment, and talking to the people at the water department, they are very excited about being able to get this tool and use it. So,
Motion.
Motion.
motion from Mazzetti, second
Second.
by Akmuti, all in
Discussion.
favor?
I just want to make a statement more than a discussion. I want to say how impressed I am by Adam Littman, our supervisor, director of the plants, because this is a big purchase. And he took his time out, I don't know if he reached out to all of you, but he took his time out to reach out to me
Yeah, he
and
reached out
to
to all
really
of us.
explain how badly they need it. So I did appreciate it, and I have a really good comprehension of why he needs this. And it justifies the $68,929 price tag, so I'm glad that he did do that.
Yeah, you're technically not supposed to dig around the gas lines. You're supposed to, this is a big vacuum truck, vacuum trailer.
A lot of safety.
Right, and if you rent one of the ones that run around, you see them every now and then, it's $5,500 a day.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And in the center of town 2 weeks ago at that rate, they could have used that tool. They were struggling, water spraying all over, mud, muck.
Especially in the middle of the night when
And
it's
Adam said,
freezing
this is
weather
why we need the
and
machine.
they're in
That's
water.
right.
yeah.
I'm glad we're getting it.
Yeah, and hats off to our water and sewer team for all the work they've done on the 13 breaks they've had this
Yeah,
year.
they had a tough winter.
6 that are probably made, that were kind of major. Okay, Resolution F is actually to,
We didn't vote,
We
we
didn't
didn't vote
vote.
on
We
E.
gotta vote.
Got to vote on it.
we didn't vote
We
on it.
motioned this.
Okay, I'm sorry. So we motioned Mazzetti, Akmuti motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passed 5-0. The Resolution F is the request to approve the following funds be moved from the capital and general into the water sewer. That's to pay for the trailer. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Moreno,
Second.
Akmuti, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. We've already done G through J.
We got-
Resolution K is to accept the resignation of Matthew Sudol, full-time police officer, effective March 10th, 2022. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mike?
Second.
Lenny, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion number L, or letter L, motion to appoint Steve Lawback as an alternate position to the Ethics Board.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Resolution M is to approve the following seasonal hires for Recreation Department Summer Programs. Roseanne Lesser for Summer Fund A&C Director. Alyssa Iorlano, Summer Fund Assistant Director. Frank Alfonso Jr., Summer Fund Sports Co-Director. Chris Osterman, Summer Fund Sports Co-Director, at the recommendation of Frank Alfonso, Recreation Director.
Motion.
Second.
Guerrero Mazzetti, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and Resolution N, to authorize the supervisor to approve the MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, for 3 employees to attend a new peer trainer orientation, May 2nd to 5th, 2022. Eugene Ruza, John Rockwell, Baron Rockwell. There's no cost to the town. The CSA pays for this. And you've been through both Rich and Adam, and they agree we should do this, and the people can take the time to do this
Make the-
peer-to-peer training.
Make the motion?
Second.
Discussion. How are they selected to participate? Does anybody know, or?
It's, well, Gene and Alex are currently approved to do the peer-to-peer training, and you just go out and ask anybody else who's interested, and the Rockwells came forward and said they would be interested. That's,
Thanks.
I had a discussion with Gene this morning.
Thanks.
Okay, so we had Frano motioned it, and do we have a second?
Thank-
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried 5-0. That's it for the regular agenda. Okay, we'll do another privilege to the floor if somebody has a question. Yeah.
I just want to follow up from, I think it was the last meeting where you were talking about the water fees and that fees 62%. Who pays for the rest?
It comes out of either general fund, or actually, it comes out of water
Water
district
district.
tax. Water district taxing,
For only people who are in the district?
yeah. That's what the water district's set up for.
Well, I thought those are the taxes that brought it up to the 62%.
No, you make the water and you charge people for usage. That's what brings it up to 62%.
And then whatever you need more,
You have to take out of the water district tax, which normally is supposed to be used for capital improvements.
I got it.
Okay, so part of the issue is we haven't done enough capital improvements to get us to the efficiency point we have to get to. That's what we're, as a board, are gonna work on this year to try and take that number up higher.
And Dave, and I appreciate that discussion, because after we talked about that, I actually called Dave that night, and we were talking about, and that's why he's hiring, he mentioned at the tri-board meeting that you were present at, that we're gonna look at how we can streamline and update the system so we're not wasting taxpayers' money on processing and cleaning the water.
Yeah, we want to get that benchmark. I've done some benchmarking with other towns, and, best of breed is like the high 80s. So nobody gets to 100, because you're going to have water you use to flush, you use to test hydrants, et cetera. But best of breed is in the high 80s, and if you know me, I like to get us above best of breed. So we're going to drive it. Thank you. Okay, any other further things? If not, can I get a motion to move to executive session? We have Steve Latino coming in to discuss the PBA contract.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move to executive session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Put my pen to his desk. Everybody sign these things?
I didn't sign it. She'll bring me the whole stack tomorrow, but that's all right.
Johnny, unless Johnny's coming here.
Did you sign?
I've been signing all week.
One more, of course.
That one you only have to sign the front page.
You gonna give me a ride home?
Those everybody says you, Lenny and I had only, you guys don't have to sign the green, just Lenny and I had. It's such a pain in the neck.
Lenny, there you go. Lenny, there you go. You give me a ride home?
You have individual ones, and she puts them